Hello, I'm Avery or Hazel or Kylie. You can just pick one, I don't care.
Hello, I am Lily.
And welcome to the From the Closet podcast. God damn it.
What?
I forgot to look at the schedule. Uh,
Oh,
so,
great.
and I don't have my I don't have my Surface anywhere near me. So
So, guess
Lily,
I'm doing it.
I'd like you. Yeah. Um, but yeah, welcome to the From the Closet podcast. Today we are covering Agent Carter season 1. So, spoilers for that. Once Lily brings up the schedule,
Oh, it's
we
already
can
done.
tell you
It's
what.
MCU Phase 2 retrospective, and Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch has a glitch next week.
Okay. You can join us for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1 sometime next month, and Agent Carter, not Season 1, Season 2 sometime next month. And you can join us for Agent Carter Season 2 sometime in March. God, that's quite a bit away.
Nice.
But yeah. Anyway, in the description, you will find a link to the Just Watch page for Agent Carter, which will have links to all the places you can rent, purchase, or stream Agent Carter. Our link is to the US version of the site. However, if you use the Just Watch app, it automatically redirects you to your country's page, and you are able to change the country from the website page itself. Also in the description is a link to our Patreon where you can vote on future episodes of this show, as well as get early access to episodes of this show and episodes of our sister show, Off the Shelf, which is about books and is exclusive to YouTube and Patreon. And
Before
also gets episodes far less frequently.
I just want to mention something. The day that we were recording this episode is the day before my birthday.
Cool.
19.
She's still not old enough to drink.
Sad.
Also in the description is a link to Anchor, which itself will have links to every platform that this podcast is on, as well as links to our Instagram and Twitter, where you can be notified when we release new episodes. But with all that being said, spoilers for Agent Carter up ahead. You have been warned. Get out of here if you'd like to avoid. But anyway, so you ready, Lily?
Yes, as soon as I get a meme out of my head. Okay, cool.
I'm kind of curious what you thought about this.
It's like if you took any TV show, it just took out all the filler.
I mean, yeah, I think that's one of the things I appreciate here is that there's no filler.
I mean, there was not 20 straight minutes of filler, let alone an entire episode.
Yeah, and this season of this show is a lot like what Marvel would eventually do in Phase 4, where it's just really short.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really glad because we had to delay this episode a couple of times.
It's a wonder that
first
only one time was because of me.
So first we were supposed to record this on Tuesday, but and for reference, we are recording this on a Thursday. So normally we would have recorded this on a Tuesday, but I went up to meet with my dad and my sister for Christmas, even though it was technically 2 days after Christmas. And then I was panicking by the time I was watching the show sitting at home, and I was panicking thinking, there is no way I'm going to finish. I'm only on episode 7. Because I was thinking that this show would have seasons as long as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it didn't. It was only 8 episodes.
I was
that
just
stress
bad at
was
math.
a lot.
I was bad at math, and I ended up finishing where I was supposed to finish. episode 7 instead of finishing episode 8.
Mm.
So it was that close,
But
but
yeah,
then
and
we had to
then
delay for an entire day.
yeah. So now it's Thursday, and I watched. I don't know. It's something, but like I wanted to get through Agent Carter, at least season 1, because stuff regarding the SSR is going to be mentioned in Agents of Shield season 2.
Interesting.
So it's important. Plus, I think it helps to understand Peggy Carter's character better. Like watching these TV shows, I know that certain moments in like the movies, when we get further down the line, are going to hit different. But like that's really all I can say without spoiling stuff.
Okay, then.
But but things are going to feel different when I start seeing these characters in the movies, from having seen these shows.
Huh. Interesting.
But
I have no idea what Avery's talking about right now.
yeah, you'll find out.
I love
But
being left in the
I
dark.
think this show. Yes, but I think this show is pretty cool. I do like that it didn't focus on Hydra, because we literally just got that with Agents of Shield. But the entire time I was questioning whether or not Leviathan was Hydra. Because like, both being named after mythological creatures kind of seemed plausible.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting the ending that it took with Howard Stark.
Yeah. And the thing is, like with Howard Stark, I can never tell who's playing him because the actor seems to change like 3 or 4 times.
I don't
Not like
no,
over the course of this show, but like over the course of the MCU in general.
Whoever's playing him, I always like the character of Howard Stark. And I love to see that they're exploring it in this show.
Yeah. And like we get to see Jarvis as a person for the first time, because like the person predates the AI. And like this is interesting coming from the perspective of already having seen Paul Bettany playing Vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that's eventually where Jarvis ends up, is Vision. But
also, I like how Tony and Howard Stark's personalities are very similar. I think Tony said in a line of where he hacked the Pentagon security system on a dare. And literally one of Howard Stark's lines was, "You know who made this system? Yeah, the same people designed the White House. Yeah, they suck. They should have hired me." Like,
yeah, it's the arrogance there, but also probably being able to back it up.
yeah, that's the thing. So much arrogance, and yet so much intelligence too. And hell, he makes these powerful weapons because he can. And when they went into an enemy's hand, well, it's his fault. They were never supposed to be anywhere else other than a vault collecting dust.
Yeah. And then there was that one particular thing that was never intended as a weapon. And I thought that was a pretty interesting storyline, because like even Peggy Carter was just like, it doesn't seem like Howard Stark would consent to making this.
No,
And
yeah, it was supposed to be something completely different that just backfired, and oh, guess a weapon now.
Yeah, and he never intended it for it to be used. The whole Battle of Finau thing, that everything about that was very intriguing. I also really loved the how do I phrase it? And it's gone from my brain now. God, I hate that. I hate when I'm thinking about something and then thinking about how to phrase it, and then it just suddenly disappears from my brain.
Relatable.
Yeah. But I mean, so I guess I'll talk about something that bothered me while watching, and I know it's purposeful. It is purposeful.
What?
But the amount of sexism in the early episodes, it's particularly the early episodes.
Oh yeah.
It it
Very potent.
it yeah, like it really annoyed me, and it kind of, you know, it kind of made me enjoy Agents of Shield more. Like I know it's purposeful. This is like set in like late 40s, early 50s,
I mean, you can't
and it's
really
like
have
we're
a movie in this time frame without sexism. It's just physically not possible.
well, you can have a movie, but certainly not one with a female protagonist in the realm of like espionage. Uh, like
Hmm.
she's gonna have to face sexism in this particular time period. There's just no way around it. But like, regardless, it made me enjoy Agents of Shield more. I know this is purposeful,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, I
like it
understand.
bothers me. Yeah. So,
And
it has a purpose. It has its place. It absolutely needs to be here. It just means I don't enjoy the series as much.
I like this a lot more, and it's basically because of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 27 episodes or something like that. This show, 8.
I think it was 23.
Oh, yeah, it was.
But I don't know. I like Agents of Shield. Like the characters, I'm okay. So in regard to characters, like for the most part, we are dealing with characters we have already met before in the MCU, with the exception of some of the SSR agents, and I guess our main villain and lackeys. But like we're seeing Peggy, we're seeing the 107th, and we're actually exploring their characters a lot more, which I thought was really cool.
We're seeing Howard a lot more.
Oh yeah, Howard, Jarvis, the original Jarvis, which technically we didn't meet in the MCU yet. It's weird.
Hmm.
Time travel.
Oh, fun.
We'll get we'll get to that. Uh, but I mean, we're there's a lot more characters here than were in mainline MCU. That were in mainline MCU compared to Agents of Shield. We had Phil Coulson and Nick Fury showed up a couple of times, and Maria Hill showed up a couple of times, but that was really well. And Sif showed up once,
What I like about this
but that was
show
really it.
is like because they're taking pre-existing characters and putting them in situations that would definitely not happen in the movie, first of all. And second of all, Howard Stark in movies, he's being overshadowed by Captain America. Now, he's not.
Yeah,
You know,
now Captain
there's not.
America no longer really exists.
And we see Howard Stark's insecurities. He blames himself for Captain America being lost.
Yeah, and like I also really like the conversation where he talks about how Captain America was the one good thing that he created.
I love his
And
character on how like is so emotionless but emotional at the same time.
Yeah, and like, I know at some point he says that Tony was the greatest thing that he created, but like, I think the important thing to remember here is that at the time when he says that Captain America was the greatest thing he created, Tony wasn't born yet.
No, I mean, obviously, uh, it's not like him to say that Captain America would be the only greatest thing that he's created. He's a narcissist. He, I bet he'd know that he's gonna outdo himself again.
Yeah, probably, but I don't know. I personally see Captain America as greater than Tony Stark, at least in terms of like integrity and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, coming from
But
Howard Stark's perspective, I can definitely think that he means it. That he thinks Tony is his
yeah,
greatest creation.
it's kind of funny. The next MCU movie we're covering is going to be calling into question both Captain America and Tony Stark's integrity.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah,
Tony Stark has none of
and
that.
it's. And I disagree. He definitely has integrity. Otherwise, he wouldn't have shut down the weapons manufacturing and like. There's a lot of things he wouldn't have done.
Oh, right. He didn't have any integrity before the first Iron Man movie.
Right.
Is that, yeah. Is that right?
That seems about right. You know, while we're on all over the topic of Captain America, I kind of got really annoyed at Thompson when he was speaking to I don't remember his last name, so I'm just going to call him Daniel, the guy with the crutch, who had a crush on Peggy. I kind of got really annoyed when he basically told him that Peggy's not going to trade the red, white, and blue shield for a guy with a crutch. And I'm like, bro, you really don't understand anything, do you?
I mean,
Like, Peggy
yeah.
liked Steve well before he was Captain America.
I mean, I think we can all come to an understanding of a lot of these characters don't know a goddamn thing about relationship.
Or women in general.
Oh god, what was like the one scene of where the person dies? Like, I'll call his wife, I'll call his girlfriend.
Yeah, like, that everything about that character just irked me, and I was kind of glad when he died.
Like,
But
it's like a sentimental moment of where he wasn't a great person, but did he really deserve this? Like, this much?
maybe not. I'll tell you whose death, like, who really didn't deserve their death.
Hmm.
The chief of the SSR.
Oh yeah, who basically just sacrificed their life so everyone can live.
Pretty much, yeah. Like,
Of course, after causing a
God,
huge
like
mess, but you know, mind control.
Oh, and yeah, that's another thing about this show that really annoys me. Okay, I am tired of seeing the hypnosis trope used in like movies and junk, because one of the things about hypnosis is that you can't be hypnotized without consenting to it. So it always just takes me out of what I'm watching when their explanation is hypnosis.
Well, actually, I will defend this show because it eases the way that he does it is eases them into it. Like, he doesn't just go straight to, where's the vault? Give me everything you have. No, he's like, so tell me about your family, your kids. and really forces his control very slowly.
I will say though, like at the very end when Daniel, the dude with the crutch, is like when he reveals that he was wearing earplugs the whole time, that's kind of a cop out because he could clearly hear what the guy was saying. Like he
Oh
literally
yeah,
reacted to the things that he was saying. Like that is a cop out and a half.
the only thing I could think of that would explain why was if he could read the lips. Like if he was actually really good at lip reading. And what he said after was just a cheap joke. When he said, "Oh, was he saying
Yeah,
something?"
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and it's funny because Shield would later have a lip reading program.
Huh. Interesting. But yeah, that's
Remember they used it. You remember they used it in
oh
Agents of
yeah,
Shield season 1.
I remember that. But yeah, they this show is actually pretty good. I will admit.
Yeah, it is. I like exploring Peggy's character more. And I had previously really only seen her character in the first Avenger, again in Winter Soldier, uh, and again in What If.
Oh,
Oh,
she
and
was
I
in
guess
What If?
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Uh,
Yeah, there's a What If episode based on Steve gets injured and isn't able to take the serum, and they're running out of time, and Peggy has to take it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the SSR anyway?
The Strategic Scientific Reserve. They're an espionage agency. They're pretty much the precursor to SHIELD.
Was this always in was this happening during the first Avenger?
Well, Peggy wasn't part of it at the time because she was involved in the war. Peggy would
Yeah.
join the SSR after the war was over. I don't really know if they existed before, but I mean it's not really relevant whether or not they existed before.
So the SSR shuts down, or either way, that morphs into Shield, and then
Yeah,
Shield
pretty
takes its
much.
course, dies, you wink, and
Yeah, they die
and then the
for
Avengers
real.
Initiative program takes over.
I will say there is more to the Avengers Initiative than what we have explored so far.
Okay.
But we won't really find out much about that until after Infinity War.
Honestly, when I heard that,
So
the only
it'll be a
thing I could
while.
hear was Infinity Train. That's the only thing my brain wanted to
No,
hear.
just no. No. But yeah, I think Agent Carter, I think this was pretty good. This show, I don't think it's as good as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in my opinion. But that's just the way I see it. It's good, though.
I will want to, I feel like this is a very underrated show. I don't
Probably,
really
yeah.
see many
I
people
mean,
talk about it.
It is a shame that it only got 2 seasons. That's really upsetting because Haley Atwell's character is fun to explore, and we also get to see more of Howard Stark and Jarvis is always a win.
Oh, Jarvis is definitely a win.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every scene with Jarvis was fantastic. And then like I also really loved like Peggy's friend. I don't remember her name. Um, but the girl who was trying to be an actress but was just kind of stuck as um, bartender. I
Yeah.
think she was a bartender.
No, I think she was like a cafe worker.
I mean, I think it was like a bar that doubled as a cafe.
That makes sense.
Like I've been to plenty of those actually.
Huh, really? I guess I
Yeah.
can't really say I've been to either.
But yeah, I really enjoyed her character. The the whole building that was like for women only after the first floor, that was a little weird to me, but also kind of funny. So it was something. And the whole
Especially,
thing with Steve's blood, like that was
I just love
uh,
how Stark,
it,
once he got in, just started wooing everyone.
God, that sure was something. And hmm. And people didn't even realize it was him. They were just like, this guy looks like Howard Stark, but no, it's definitely not Howard Stark.
Howard Stark barely has a
It's just funny to me.
disguise.
Fucking Superman ass.
I just love
But yeah, like
how
I enjoy.
Howard Stark just walks into places, especially when he just blatantly walks into the SSR. Like, hey, how's everyone
Yeah,
going?
yeah. I also loved when like Jarvis walked into the SSR and was like, "Dude, I know this is the SSR. I mean, I was in here for questioning already. You don't have to pretend it's not the SSR."
And I love how it's like, I have this signed confession. And everyone's like, oh, do you now?
Yeah, only it turned out to be fake. And oh my god, Jarvis's backstory. Holy fuck.
What do you mean?
I it,
Oh, right. I almost forgot about that.
yeah, like how um he tried to basically forge his uh, commanding uh, commanding officer's signature so that he could help a Jewish girl escape into, I believe it was the U.S. or the U.K., one of the two. Either
Mhm.
way, um, he was dishonorably discharged, and Stark basically tried to cover it up. Um,
Which
but God,
actually worked.
that was heart wrenching. Yeah,
I never would have
that
thought
was
that.
heart wrenching though.
Yeah, I never would have thought that Stark would be the one, to push, this stuff under the rug. It
And
actually care.
another heart wrenching thing was when Peggy's roommate died in like what was it, episode 1 or 2?
Oh yeah,
Like god damn. They really hit you quickly.
it was like non-stop from there on.
Pretty much, yeah. Um I'm very curious how season 2 is gonna go. Like, is Peggy going to become the leader of the SSR? Because like I know she helped found Shield. Um, I think Howard Stark was involved in founding Shield too. I'm not sure, but like I'm curious, when does Nick Fury come into the picture, and like a whole bunch of other things. And I'm wondering if we're gonna get to see any of that.
I don't think so. Like, Nick Fury is probably not the only director of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Well, there was also Alexander Pierce. Like they were both directors together, but
Hmm.
I mean, we obviously know Pierce was Hydra. Um, and then obviously now Phil Coulson is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Though, of course, no one knows about that, except a small select group of people.
Yeah. And also, just something we didn't talk about in our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode. A
Hmm.
lot of people have tried to say that, like, it's a plot hole that the Avengers and really anyone doesn't know that Phil Coulson is still alive and that S.H.I.E.L.D. still exists because of the files that Natasha leaked online. But they seem to forget that Skye erased all of the files relating to their team under Phil Coulson's instruction. So all the knowledge that Phil Coulson is still alive was erased by Skye.
So, I mean, there's only like a brief window that anyone could know about this.
Yeah, exactly. And I highly doubt Black Widow was sitting there looking through all of the files as she was uploading them to the internet. Clear, especially since like that would have taken some time, and we literally see the scene where she does it. So
Also, there's something else
I
we
mean,
didn't
come
really
on, it's
mention in that, like, something I want to mention, but, in that episode, but I didn't. But what was that one character that they kept mentioning in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Agent,
not.
I'm sorry. Every time I think about this character, all I can think about is Stroganoff.
You mean Romanoff?
Thank you.
Black Widow's literal last name?
Yeah, they talk about Agent Romanoff a lot. Like, this is something that they wanted to make a lie detector that Agent Romanoff couldn't beat.
Well, I mean, she was already a spy before she joined S.H.I.E.L.D.
Or, like, how, like, they talk about how Agent Romanoff is the best.
I mean, she was. She was the
Yeah.
best.
I'm not contesting that she is not the best. I'm just saying that they really want to make you know that she is the best.
Yeah, and then, like, Barton is probably a close second.
Hmm.
But yeah, like, overall, I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the story. Um, I'm wondering if that Daniel guy is the husband that Peggy was mentioning in Winter Soldier.
Hmm.
But that doesn't seem right because I can't recall a time when Captain America would have saved his life. Because, like, Peggy mentions that Steve saved the man who would become her husband.
I wonder if we're gonna get like another backstory on that. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I'm curious. But you never know. Like, I don't know. Regardless, I think I've covered everything I want to say. Like this,
I guess I
also,
have
I guess the
too.
action scenes are cool too. But
Yeah,
yeah, so you want to get into our ratings?
I guess I can. Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So
what's your?
this is quite a good show, and it's expelled even better the fact that there's only 8 episodes, no filler. You can get the story very fast. So, with all that being said, I want to say probably deserves an 8. What about you?
I would say so, probably. Yeah, I would say probably around 8 as well. Yeah, probably 8.0. Which, like, I
Okay.
know that was higher than what I rated Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would have gotten an 8.5 if it wasn't for the scene that was literally rape. So, I mean, that's just where it is. But yeah, I think that's all we got to say for today. So you can join us next week for our MCU Phase 2 retrospective and Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch. You can join us next month for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, and in 2 months for Agent Carter Season 2. But with all that being said, I've been Avery, that's been Lily, and we will be seeing you